Welcome to La La Laker, where we talk nothing but Laker basketball. The ups, the downs, the wins, the losses, the sadness, the joy, the misery. Right now, I am Wally World, and I am now here to break this whole thing down to you where you're in your reality sense. Laker fans, I want you to gather around. Right now, we look horrible. Yes, it's over with. Yes, my panic meter is well above 10. But we're going to break down this thing now while you're in your reality mind, because at one time or another, I could not get you guys to understand this at all. What we're going through as Laker fans right now, we should have expected this. This is a come to the higher power moment to now look at this team for what it's really worth. And it's nothing. It's worth a bunch of pennies that you find under your seat in your car when it's vacuum day. It means nothing. We stink. The whole world knows we stink. And now I want to break down these things that I have already said to you guys. This is the reason why you don't really get too much footage right now, because it's like a broken record trying to explain this over and over and over again for people to constantly tell me I am losing my mind. I am wrong. LeBron James is the savior. He will fix this. To see you still being 9th and 10th seed in a Western Conference that is not going to put up with the Laker mess. I told you guys that the Lakers are not liked. Organizations do not want the Lakers to prosper. You will not get the top names like you think you will. The last time you were getting big names is when you had GMs of the names of Jerry West and Mitch Kupchak. And even at the end of Mitch Kupchak, God, I had to say that 3 times. And we couldn't get talent neither. It always happens in the league, not just for Lakers, but all across the league. When your superstar is older in the game, there's not too many years left. They are not the face of the league as much as we deem them as such. The last 2 or 3 years of Kobe's career, we couldn't get a team together to try our best to make a run. And when we did, it was around a bunch of guys who was literally hanging from a string, literally, in their careers to make one last hurrah and push. You guys should be familiar with this, Laker fans. Kobe, Dwight Howard, young Dwight Howard, and a aging Steve Nash. Remember them days? Pau Gasol? Looks kind of familiar. It's just now in the new age sense. LeBron James, Westbrook, AD, Carmelo Anthony. It's failed us again. We've fallen for it again. And we've been burnt again. Now let's break this down for real now. Are we here? I want to talk to the Laker fans who looked at all the rumor reports all year. The ones who just knew that Jeremy Grant was coming to LA. I told you that months ago that wasn't going to happen. The ones who thought that somebody big was going to be traded. I also told you that wasn't going to happen. The ones who said Russell Westbrook will be traded. I told you that was not going to happen. This is what we were going to be dealing with. It was going to be hard to get rid of Russell Westbrook's contract, which is the business part. It's hard trying to give up $40-something million and say, hey, do you want this? Oh, he's not really playing that great, but he will. He will. Just bet on it. When even you as Laker fans boo him in his own arena. We're the only team that boos our guys in the arena, expecting them to do superhero stuff. Can we say spoiled? I never saw them booing Russell Westbrook in Washington. He had the same stats. People were saying that the Nets should be afraid to play the Wizards in the playoffs if they make it. They have a chance to beat the Nets in the first round, or at least make it a competitive series, and they didn't boo him. Same thing happened to Russ. Bradley Beal was out games. Russ had to do it on his own for a while. They went on a run. I didn't see that same media say how Russ was doing so great. I only see whenever he looks terrible. But no one says anything when the Lakers are looking horrible with LeBron James on the court, Anthony Davis on the court. LeBron James turned the ball over 6-7 times. There was a span where LeBron James would turn the ball over in the past 6-7 straight games more than Russ. Would you know that? These are the same ones that said Russell Westbrook is so bad because of his turnovers and didn't realize that he is not even the top 3 in turnovers in the league. James Harden is number 1. They're winning in Brooklyn, and they're winning now in Philly. Crazy stuff, huh? Drew Holiday is ranked 3rd. Milwaukee's fine. But what are we realizing here as a turnover margin? That it's the guys who majority have the ball in their hands more than everybody else. Your point guards will turn the ball over more than most because they have to orchestrate where those passes need to be to start an offense. But what you're going to see is that LeBron James is still scoring 30 points a game. I would score 30 points a game if the offense is directed around me. I would too. Don't believe me? Oh, well, why are we seeing LeBron James holding the ball still after all these years? We've seen he's been on the Lakers for 3 seasons. We see that he holds the ball longer and longer as each year goes along. This is a game where ball movement matters. I told you guys that. You're not going to win holding a ball, probing, and waiting for somebody to do the same lane cuts, same back screens, and still in the corner. That game is over with. The game has evolved. Don't you see these teams that are younger moving? They're not even as talented as the Lakers, but they move the ball around. Moving the basketball is better than holding it or dribbling the air out of the ball. Everybody knows that. Except for LeBron James and company. Why is he holding the ball so much? Because LeBron James is not that superhero guy anymore. He's human now. He's not blowing by everybody. He's not stronger and faster than everybody on the court any longer. That's why. When you get older, your mind tells you that you can do things that you can no longer do. Ask DeAndre Jordan. Ask all of these guys. It's not a coincidence that guys' shooting percentages go downhill when they come to LA. And you're not going to give me because of the lights of LA. Like, who do you think you guys are? Listen, we are Laker fans, but we are so cocky. But then they can come back in another uniform and light us up. For the ones who are sitting there saying, we should just kept the same team that we had, we should have never got LeBron James. You would have never had a championship. Let's start there. That's the only thing that I can give credit to by bringing Anthony Davis and LeBron James over is that you would not have won a championship. We wouldn't have won a championship. 2019 would have not been it. Matter of fact, it was almost not it because it was about to end the season. You wouldn't have had a championship with Julius Randle. If the lights are so bright that you say in LA, then Julius Randle would not be Julius Randle right now. And even with Julius Randle right now, he still goes left. He doesn't go right. Brandon Ingram would not been able to critique his game and take the time with no expectations in New Orleans to be able to perfect the game that he wants to be in LA. That's why you didn't see Lonzo Ball do it in LA. When Lonzo Ball left the Lakers, he still had the same jump shot, the same free throw percentage as he did when he came in. The same hand over the eyes jump shot that he had. And he gets to New Orleans and he perfects it. There's no expectations in New Orleans. Goes to Chicago and now he can't even stay on the floor. This is what you would have had in LA. Julius Randle in New York, look how they look. They paid him a lot of money to stay in New York to be the face of it, and they're losing games. I wonder why. New Orleans, they're 11th, 12th in the West. So even with Ingram looking the way he looks, they're still bad. I'm going to keep going. Who else do we need? Kuzma? I remember a lot of you saying, Kuzma, look. And I'm a Kuzma guy. I truly didn't want Kuzma to actually leave. And it wasn't because of his name or anything. It was because we needed size. We needed a hybrid guy on this team. Thus, as you're seeing, that we need badly now. You cannot teach 6'9", 6'9.5" that can play your 3, your 4, can guard some of your 2s, can move just enough to play some of your 5s, and you can't teach that. But even with him being there, KCP, I mean, hey, the Wizards are not looking that great anymore. I think the buzz is over. Remember Montrezl Harrell? Why not play Montrezl Harrell? Why not re-sign him? Why is he in Charlotte? Not your beloved Montrezl Harrell. That still is not a starter in Charlotte. They desperately need bigs. Why? Oh, because maybe it was something that I was telling you before where you can't play a 6'7" center in this game any longer because that's no different than playing LeBron James at center. Oh, wait a minute. LeBron James has played center. How have we looked? But LeBron has 30. You still lose by 15. You still get out rebounded. Second chance punts go through the roof. These teams have not even changed up. The thing that makes me upset, I told you Frank Vogel was bad. Frank Vogel is at the point of being so stubborn that he feels that he could just put anything out there and it's going to work. I told you guys Frank Vogel, every third season of every team he's coached, they look terrible. They look worse by the year, and they look terrible because teams know Frank Vogel by year 3. Here we are, year 3. How bad do we look? We look worse, don't we? We're getting worse by the year. Now, a lot of you are going to say, but the injuries. Then I go back to say, then what is LeBron James and Anthony Davis doing trying to get another guy in Russell Westbrook booted out of the team, if that is that's alleged, when he's played every game this season? How do you boot out the guy who's available every game this season? No chemistry, can't play with nobody long enough. Every time they play, somebody goes out. Every 5th game, somebody's out. I'm the new guy on the block, and you're asking me to do what again? I mean, this is why I say that it's just delusion at this point. I want to remove the delusional out of you because you have no choice now because the Lakers stink, okay? They're bad. The panic meter is well over 10. They're bad. But some of you thought that LeBron was going to be the man after he shoots the fadeaway game winner in the All-Star game. A game where they don't play defense, but then in the same breath, the whole weekend shoots your team down with subliminals. If you're a person that loves music, you understand what rap is, and you understand what rap subliminals are when the guy is basically trying to talk about what he's going to do to your crew, but he can't say names, and he can't really tell you who, but you can listen to the lyrics and say, I know who he's talking about. Sam Presti is a great GM for Oklahoma City. That is the worst guy to use in a press conference with Sam Presti. He finds talent. What did he do with the talent? He drafted the best talent that you can possibly draft as a GM to let all of them go, and he's in the lottery every year for the past 6 years. Yikes. That is deemed the one of the best GMs. And during that time, he had to still be in the lottery to get the Kevin Durant's, which is number 2 pick. The Russell Westbrooks of the world, who was top 10 pick. James Harden. All these guys, they were bad. The time had came, the chickens had hatched, and then they got to a championship run. And then as soon as the time is coming, they're getting ready to go around the curve, the same GM gets rid of James Harden for a bag of pennies. For him to ultimately go to Houston and be the man. So technically, Oklahoma City was holding him back. Correct? This is not the same James Harden you see in Philly and Brooklyn. This is not the same James Harden in Houston that you see in Oklahoma City. It's not. They kept Ibaka. Look at Ibaka. That was the worst decision ever made, to keep Ibaka and let James walk. You can always find a big man that could just go and want to be a defensive guy and just want to just be a nuisance in the paint. But it's very hard to find a guy that can come off the bench as your 6th man and light it up and have starter numbers off the bench. It's very hard for that. But what do I know? These are the ones that wait till the 4-letter and 3-letter networks tell you the stat line. You're the ones that run to NBA.com and look up the plus and minus. This is you. But you're not looking at the game. Oh, LeBron was a +5. Very good. But he had 9 turnovers. He just had 30 points. He had 7 rebounds, 7 assists. You're going to have a decent plus minus. But they didn't tell you that his guy that he played still had 20 and 8 and 4. LeBron is now human. LeBron is at the end of his career. We've seen this, guys. Didn't we see this before? When you're at your last leg, so you put an old school squad together just hoping you can get one more last run. Wasn't that Kobe, Steve Nash, Dwight Howard, Pau Gasol? How did that work? This team deserves exactly what it deserves. Allowing these guys to be spoiled brats just like us fans and sit in the room and say, I think we want Russ and we want to do this. And this is the same guy. We're not learning anything, are we? Cleveland Cavalier fans are like, no way, LeBron. I don't want to hear about the door is not all the way closed. It is closed. They're winning games without him. They're moving the basketball, and they don't have to worry about somebody whining and trying to get their way. They don't have to worry about that anymore. Why would I want that back? And he's going to be almost 40. Why would I want that back? LeBron said it in your face. I'm not just here for basketball. And he showed you. Space Jam. He wants to play with his son. He goes wherever he wants to go. The barbershop talk. All that stuff. Yeah, he showed you. Commercials. Yeah, all that. Showed you it was past basketball. He got you the championship that you wanted, Lakers, to make you happy. And now it's just about now finding Kareem. Now, why would I leave when I can pass Kareem with a Laker jersey on? It's not a coinkydink. This is why you will put a LeBron at the center when you know that you're getting out rebounded immediately when you put LeBron down at the center. Well, the Warriors play small ball, but they had shooters that were out of this world. Name me anybody close with the Lakers with shooting. Some of you are saying Wayne Ellington. I told you Wayne Ellington was old. I'm a Tar Heel fan. I remember Wayne Ellington. Wayne Ellington can't guard a soul. Wayne Ellington is at the end of his career just like Kyle Korver was at the end of his. But remember, the game is different now. And this is not the Eastern Conference Cleveland Cavaliers. Wayne can't guard nobody in the West. Nobody. Not a soul. Nobody. That was going to be his kryptonite. He's a situational three-point specialist. He is the Sasa Vujacic of the Lakers during the glory years. That's it. You don't need him in there doing situationals. We need a 3. We need one bad. Let's leave him out there to space the floor. That's it. Not to be a guy that has minutes. Malik Monk still can't be the main starter. I told you guys Malik Monk was your 2. I've been saying it. I gave you guys a break on these videos and these podcasts because I just wanted you to just see it for yourself. He's the 2, but he's still now, what? Austin Reeves is starting over me? What? The Russell Westbrook meme. What? What are you talking about, man? This is what Frank Vogel is doing. There's always this low-tier, no-name guy that he wants to be the savior and the hype man. Austin Reeves is Caruso in Frank Vogel's eyes, and that can't be. I remember you guys. I remember you saying Caruso is going to make a difference. Caruso, what's going on in Chicago? He said, oh, he's hurt too? Oh, dang. We will be going through that same thing this season. $45 million to be on the bench, play a little bit of defense, but still not that guy yet. And remember, he came out as an older guy in college. Remember? This game is about the young men. It's about the youth. DeAndre Jordan has no shot. I told you guys why. I told you that in. You can't find a position. What did Brooklyn just do? They went to Philly and got their big man, their backup big man in Drummond. So you mean to tell me that if DeAndre can't get a starting or a position or minutes there, but Drummond can come in on a trade and immediately get minutes? That means he's worse than Drummond. Why is he started at the beginning of the year? I told you guys every time Dwight Howard plays, he plays well. You wait 13 games, 15 games, you put Dwight Howard there, he gives you a double-double. Every single time. I told you this. Clipper game, he started, he gave you a double-double. But somehow, I told you your starting lineup from day one, and we still haven't seen that yet. Dwight Howard's your center. Anthony Davis is your 4. They never deemed Anthony Davis as the best 5 in the league. But they have said he's the best 4 in the league. Why would I want him at the 5? Told you that too. LeBron James at your 3. Malik Monk's your 2. Russell Westbrook is your point guard. I also told you LeBron James in this state of his career needs to play off the ball. He shot more threes he's ever done in his career. He's actually have a better percentage from shooting from three-point range and mid-range in his whole career. Why would I have him with the ball in my hands? But you Laker fans that love LeBron so much want LeBron from 2016 in Cleveland. That's gone. The shell of LeBron James, you're seeing the last drip. The same way we've seen the last drip in Rondo. You're seeing it before your very eyes the same way we've seen Kobe Bryant in the last drip of his. It was just entertainment to see 60, but he struggled to get it. He struggled to get it. LeBron James is on the way. Father Time is undefeated. These young guys are running the Lakers out of the gym, no matter their names. This is why I tell you guys, get out of your mind about the names on the back of jerseys and look at what fits. Ball movement is a plus. Golden State is older, but they move the ball. This is the reason why, even though they had no Clay, they had no Draymond, they still were winning games. They moved the ball and they put guys on, they went and got guys that were young enough to still be able to hang with the young guys, but all have older veterans to still be able to know when to slow the game down. They still was in the 8th seed running last year in a play-in game. We thought Steph Curry was going to be MVP. Like it was literally that much. Now everybody wants to blame everybody. Well, why are you not blaming LeBron James? Nobody said anything on the letter networks or you guys about LeBron James' 7 turnovers. Where in the past 7 games, he has had the most turnovers on the team. Where is the narrative? Or are we just waiting on somebody to use? Oh, Russ, huh? It's Russ. Russ is giving you his average, is giving you 18 points a game, same turnovers, and he's not even the top guy in turnovers because James Harden is. Crazy, huh? John Morant 2nd. Drew Holiday's 3rd. Russ is 4th. As bad as he is, right? Those guys are winning at the top. James, Ja, Drew, they're winning. It happens when you're the point guard and you have the ball in your hand 100% of the time. Well, LeBron James has the ball in his hand periodically. After the ball is past half court, you got to remember your point guard has it as soon as it comes off the tip, as soon as it comes out of the inbound. But he's giving you third guy points. Chris Bosh gave you 19 points a game. Third guy. At the beginning of his first year, he dropped all the way down to 16.4. I'm looking at it. So what now the question is, who are we blaming for real? Are we blaming the ADs that are signed to big contracts and LeBron James that's getting extensions and trying to bully his way to getting released or getting an extension for the following few seasons? These are your two guys that were sitting at the table trying to get a guy who's been healthy the whole year more than they have out of the team. We got to start now looking. Coaches that are never telling our superstars no, that's what happens. It gives me Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packer vibes. When they are old and they want their way because they've been spoiled their whole life and they are trying to do whatever just for them and selfishness. So when they walk away, you are now looking like Cleveland when LeBron walked away from them. You'll be in the lottery. You'll be scrambling. You won't have draft picks. You won't have no assets. And you'll be trying to figure out how we're doing this. This is when you start overpaying guys that are not good. Mozgov, Luol Deng. Remember those days? Know the business. Understand who to really put the finger on. Rob Pelinka said, no, we're not doing it. We only have one draft pick. I'm not doing it any longer. I've given you what you asked me to give you. Make it work. We have a bunch of guys that are saying, make it work with one guy in a boot and one guy that is pouting. And they are your two top guys. And guess what? When it comes to that, that is your leadership of your basketball team. Frank Vogel that will never tell these guys no, but will look and tell Russ to be benched. Why isn't LeBron James benched? Why isn't Anthony Davis not being benched for not being a dog like he used to be in New Orleans? Turning Hollywood and wanting to shoot threes when he know he's 16% from three. Huh? Why is he not benched? Why is he not benched for not being aggressive in the paint? Why is he not benched? We have excuses for him. He's not healthy. He's out of shape. He has this going on. The most broken body in the league. And we got so many excuses for him. LeBron James, well, he has 30. He needs help. How much more help can you have when you wanted this? It's like persuading your girlfriend to get this car, but then complain about every feature inside the car once you get it. This is spoiled Laker fans. We must now be realistic. You have 20 more games left to be realistic. The Lakers will probably lose to the New Orleans Pelicans tonight later on. Those young boys are going to run them to death, and Brandon Ingram has something to prove. And everybody that has been shipped off from Los Angeles to make this work for LeBron is giving him a nice little payback. Remember the Bulls game early this year? Lonzo had one of his best games ever. Remember DeRozan? What do you do? Everybody who comes back. Remember Danny Green last year? Yeah. It's not a coincidence. If I'm wrong, I'll be wrong. But I think New Orleans is going to beat the brakes off the Lakers. I just feel it. Frank Vogel is a bad coach, guys. Frank Vogel should not be the coach, as I said before, should not be the coach next season. No extension. Mark Jackson's your coach for a team that was like this year with a bunch of veterans. You have old school players, you need an old school coach. This is not the time to be the yes man with old guys who don't know that their time is fading out. And the changing of the guard is now. Look at the teams. Look at them. The ones who are pressed to get these big threes and these super teams are looking bad. Salvaging their future. To have you still in misery for 10 years of not winning, all because you can say, there was once upon a time we had these guys. And that's the reason why there are great teams and great organizations and horrible ones. Not because of the talent, not because of the team, but because of the people who are running it and the players who they are allowing to be equals just like them. And on that note, La La Laker out. Give me my theme music.